Good day, everyone. Are you ready for 2010 Barack Obama scandals? Dum dum dum. A wonderful 21st of January. Citizens United won in court. Just wanted to throw that out there. 26 January. Operation Fast and Furious organized in Washington as a joint strike with agents from ATF, FBI, DEA, and ICE, which ran through the U.S. Attorney's Office rather than the ATF. Designation as a strike force allowed it to use sophisticated surveillance techniques such as federal wiretaps, which would require court orders and interaction from the Justice Department. Since federal law requires certain individuals to review evidence and certify the necessity of such techniques, ATF agents were prevented from making arrests by federal prosecutors with Eric Holder's office. Wiretaps were employed of suspected straw buyers. January 27th. Obama insults the Supreme Court in the State of the Union address over the Citizens United ruling, because obviously Obama does not like free speech. 31st January. Villa de Salvacar massacre in Juarez, Mexico. A birthday party attended by high school students was intruded upon by a group of 20 La Línea drug cartel hitmen. 15 teenagers were killed and 12 received injuries. The brutality of the crime outraged people both in and outside Mexico. The weapons used came from, are you ready? Drum roll, please. President Obama's Fast and Furious program. So, to make this simple, they were trying to catch some people buying guns illicitly. They did sell these guns illicitly to people, or provide them to them. Then, said people went out and carried a massacre which killed 15 kids, wounded 12. And the media didn't talk about this past a couple days. That, I think, is a huge scandal. People died. It's not just money being stolen. People died. March 2010. The 1st of March. Hillary Clinton arranges meeting with former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev and current Russian President / dictator Vladimir Putin. Clinton then travels to Russia, where she met with Putin and Medvedev. Soon after, it is announced that Renaissance Capital, a regime-tied Russian bank, offered Bill Clinton $500,000 to make a single speech, 5 times more than Clinton's usual speaking fee. That's still a lot. $100,000 is still a lot. March. IRS employees in Cincinnati instructed from Washington to scrutinize tax-exempt applications using the words Tea Party or Patriots in the name. Alright, let's go over that again, folks. In March 2010, IRS employees in Cincinnati are instructed from Washington, so from the big boys, to scrutinize tax-exempt applications using the words Tea Party or Patriots. Why would you ever need to come from on high and worry about people in the Tea Party or Patriots? But things happen, right? This is one of the IRS scandals. April 2010. April 7th. James H. Thesson, State Department Deputy, Legal Advisor, and Designated Deputy Ethics Advisor, approves conflict of interest reviews request from Bill Clinton to address Renaissance Capital in Moscow. Copy forwarded to Cheryl Mills. 15th of April. Obama administration pursues espionage charges against NSA whistleblower Thomas Drake, Charges were later dropped, and Drake pled guilty to a misdemeanor. The judge called the government's conduct in the case unconscionable. Basically, what that means is Obama can go after a whistleblower, no biggie. Trump says some mean things to somebody, and he needs to get kicked out of office. It's an interesting world we live in, right? End of April, Obama Attorney General Eric Witholder Holder renews a subpoena of New York Times reporter James Risen in a leak investigation. Risen and colleague reported on warrantless wiretaps. When have I heard that? Warrantless wiretaps from Obama. That makes sense. The Converge won Risen and colleague a Pulitzer Prize for careful sourced stories on secret domestic eavesdropping that stirred a national debate. Of course it did. The president's wiretapping on people, it's kind of strange, don't you think? Especially warrantless. The Justice Department opened an investigation into wiretap stories. John Brennan, again, big name John Brennan, played a key role in the illegal wiretap program, overseeing the production of what personnel in the program called scary memos. I kid you not, quoted scary memos, intended to justify the domestic spying exposed by Risen. Brennan later admitted that he relied on information from CIA's torture program, rather than domestic spying, which was used as a cover. In a front page May 13th, 2004 story, the torture program was exposed with Risen as the lead reporter. Apparently these people just don't like this Risen guy. Maybe because he's a journalist. A real one, not Don Lemon. May 2010. Beginning of May. 60 documents disappear from computers of the Senate Intelligence Oversight Torture Review investigation. Chairwoman Feinstein, yeah, of course, said the CIA personnel at first denied that the documents were missing, then blamed the IT contractors, then informed her it was at the behest of the White House. All right, so let's get this, folks. May 2010, beginning of May, 60 documents disappear from the Senate Intelligence Oversight Torture Review investigation. Okay? First, they blamed the IT contractors. I guarantee you the IT contractors are actually professional. It's unlike the people in the government. They actually know what they're doing. They're not going to screw that up. But then at the end of the day, they informed her, which is Dianne Feinstein, that it was at the behest of the White House. So in other words, Obama told these people to get rid of the torture review investigation files. Interesting. Though it's confidential informant, the FBI could prove 3 extortion payments, Tenem to the Rostom subsidiary. That's from my previous video. Received from the informant. The informant also learned that Vladimir Mirkin and others that Rostom officials were trying to integrate themselves with the Clintons. It always leads back to the Clintons. Follow the money, folks. Strange happenings. May 14th, Bill Clinton lists Andrei Dokrev, a top aide to Russian President Dmitry Dmitriev. Yeah, I can't say that last name. And a key Rostom board member as one of the 15 Russians he wanted to meet with. Rostom is a parent company of Tenex. And then under investigation by FBI Director Robert Mueller for money laundering, sounds like Clinton's, and extortion of American energy companies, sounds like Clinton's. The processing of Rostom's request to purchase Uranium-1 was in the works via Hillary Clinton's State Department at the time. Carter Page is said to have met Dorkovich around this time as well. Clinton then met with Putin and Medvedev during the excursion to Moscow, where he received the $500,000 from the bank financing the Uranium One purchase. 18th of May, John Brennan tells a Washington conference, including Lebanese leaders, that the Obama administration is looking for ways to build up moderate elements with Hezbollah. Hezbollah is an interesting organization, saying it had evolved from purely a terrorist organization to a militia, ultimately a political party, with representatives in the Lebanese parliament and cabinet. There is certainly the elements of Hezbollah that are truly a concern. Absolutely, I completely agree. To us and what they are doing. So Brennan was saying that Hezbollah was definitely an organization that we should be concerned about in America. Brennan said, and we need to do this in order to find ways to diminish their influence within the organization inside the Lebanese government. In practice, the administration's willingness to envision a new role for Hezbollah, combined with Obama's desire for the Iranian nuclear deal, translated into a reluctance to move aggressively against the top Hezbollah operatives, according to Project Cassandra members and others. Hezbollah was known for selling approximately $200 million a month in illegal narcotics in the United States. So, a gentle recap. In May of 2010, John Brennan said that Hezbollah is a problem. Hezbollah is indeed a problem. They're selling $200 million a month of illegal narcotics in the United States, and the United States government had proof of this. Why didn't they completely eradicate these people with that said knowledge? 28th of May, Justice Department applies a warrant to obtain Google email information on Fox News reporter James Rosen without telling Rosen. Interesting. June 2010. Operation Fast and Furious suspects have purchased 1,608 firearms thus far for a cost of over $1 million at Phoenix area gun shops. ATF is aware of 179 of those weapons being found at crime scenes in Mexico and 130 in the United States. As guns traced to Fast and Furious begin turning up at violent crime scenes in Mexico, ATF agents stationed in Mexico voice opposition to the program. Yeah, finally someone's speaking up. Why would you ever want to sell a bunch of firearms to dangerous criminals in Mexico in order to arrest them? There's no practicality there. You sell it to them, you arrest them on the spot, therefore they don't have to leave with the firearm. It's a done deal. But we know how things are. If there's no conflict, well, there's no real reason for the government. Next, something really big happens. 8th of June, Uranium One announces it has signed an agreement to sell a majority stake to the mining arm of Rostom, the Russian Nuclear Energy Agency. Uranium One's 2 licensed mining operations in Wyoming amount to about 20% of all uranium mining production capacity in the United States, according to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. The deal requires a national security review by the Committee of Foreign Investments in the United States. Okay. Under what circumstance should the United States be selling any of its uranium to, I would say, one of the bigger enemies that America has? We're just going to sell them a bunch of uranium or mining rights to said uranium. That sounds just stupid to me, no matter what you say. Oil, okay, sure, they have cars, they need oil. But uranium, no. The 9th of June, Obama administration announces a $900 million in aid to a designated terrorist organization in Gaza. So they're going to give nearly $1 billion to a designated terror organization in Gaza. That sounds pretty scrupulous to me. 29th of June, Bill Clinton receives his money from Renaissance Capital in a pay-to-play bribery scam associated with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for State Department approval of Russian purchase of Uranium-1, an American mining company, which I just described earlier. July 2010. Renaissance Bank of Moscow reportedly assigns Uranium-1 a buy rating, a move that would principally benefit Russian investors. Later, the Department of Justice investigation into Previson Holding determined that $13 million from the crime that Sergei Magnitsky uncovered, exposed, and was likely killed over went to the bank accounts of Renaissance Capital in the United Kingdom. Strange how that works. One of the 19 guns Mexican authorities said they found at the hideout of Joaquin Guzman, a.k.a. El Chapo, after his January 2016 capture, was associated with Fast and the Furious operation. The Justice Department confirmed that the .50 caliber rifle was bought on July 2010 in a straw purchase by someone not known to the ATF at the time. Again, this is all backlogging. So at this time, a weapon was sold to someone that they would later find in El Chapo's hands. Again, why would you ever sell weapons to drug dealers? You sell the weapon illegally, you catch them buying the weapon illegally, you apprehend them, done deal. This is just stupid. Again, this is why you can't trust government. No matter what they do, it's not going to be efficient and people are going to die. That'll end this segment. We'll begin from August 2010 in the next segment. Thank you very much. I am the Teflon Man, and you've been a wonderful audience.